Tonight on Sports Sunday, a shocking firing for the Texans CEO Cal McNair. GM Brian Gaine is out. Why now? What prompted the move? And the real message sent by McNair to Texans Nation. We'll break it down with the Chronicle's own Brian T. Smith.
Welcome to the show, rookie.
That ball's smoked to center field. Broston watches. That is gone.
First Major League game, first Major League homer.
All everybody wanted today was a homer from him. That's what everybody expected, and he did it.
Plus, the Rockets and Mike D'Antoni might just be on the same page after all. A contract extension now appears imminent.
And the man with the plan at U of H, one-on-one with Dana Holgorsen. Let's get it going right now on Sports Sunday.
Live from KPRC Channel 2, this is Sports Sunday, presented by Nissan.
Statement delivered. The Texans' way of doing business has now dramatically changed. GM Brian Gaine suddenly fired by CEO Cal McNair just 17 months into a 5-year contract. Was it a personality struggle? Perhaps a difference in philosophy? Something big went down behind the scenes. Nobody clearly knows why and why now. What does it mean, big picture? Well, it's clear Bill O'Brien has the power now, even with a new GM. He'll be set to call the shots and has the backing of Cal and Janice McNair. The Texans have yet to make an offseason splash, but a new approach is now in place and message delivered to the Texans fans. We got a lot to talk about. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Sports Sunday. Randy Wex Laney with you. Shocking news, as you just heard, over the weekend. Friday, big shakeup at Texans headquarters. CEO Cal McNair ending the GM run for Brian Gaine. It didn't last long.
Yeah, a lot of unhappy fans. We're also going to talk about what the players are saying. Should they be concerned? And what does this mean for Bill O'Brien now?
A lot of power for Bill O'Brien over these years, getting to work with a third general manager. How about that?
Absolutely. We got a lot of Astros news coming up in a couple of minutes, but big story, Texans now in search of that new GM. It'll be the third GM to work with Coach O'Brien.
Yeah, these are some of the people expected to be contacted by the Texans during the search. Nick Caserio and Monty Austinfort.
Both of those two guys, of course, with the Patriots. No Bill O'Brien. Elliott Wolf also with the Browns, another name to watch. This search should not take long.
All right, those are the names we're hearing so far. Let's talk more about this Texans news for Friday. We're joined by Houston Chronicle columnist Brian T. Smith. Good to see you.
Good to be here, Randy.
I think we got a lot to talk about, guys. First off, is anybody over the shock of this news that came out of nowhere on Friday?
What are the Texans doing? What is Cal McNair doing? Is Bill O'Brien the owner of the Texans? That's what it feels like. And Brian Gaine and Bill O'Brien were supposed to be linked together, Randy, and we heard about philosophical alignment, and this was, Rick Smith going into Bill O'Brien. They needed another GM, and the only thing I do know is that Bill O'Brien has more power than he ever has had on Kirby Drive, and all he's done is won one wild card game.
One wild card win, 4 playoff games.
Against a third-string quarterback.
Against Connor Cook. Thank you. The Texans, thank you. Bill O'Brien, thanks you. But moving forward, and we saw some of the names, clearly it's coming from outside the organization. And we know the Patriots lineage that we always think is going to fall in place. But there are some names they wanted in January of last year, same names again.
They are. And it just feels like if this goes in the direction it is beginning at, it will be Patriots South. And it's Romeo Crennel, it's Bill O'Brien, it's Jack Easterby. We're hearing the name Jack Easterby a lot right now. He's new to the organization, formerly were the Patriots.
Rising quickly, though.
But it is Bill O'Brien and Patriots South if it continues this way.
Laney, what do you think about this? This came from Cal McNair. Everybody's saying this is a statement from Cal McNair on perhaps a new direction this franchise is going. What are your thoughts?
Well, what I'm curious about is that the case, or did something happen that we don't know about behind the scenes? Because as you mentioned, this was so shocking. If you got on social media, I mean, how much did you guys look at what people were saying? Everyone's shocked. I went to TriStar and talked to DeAndre Hopkins, and usually the players are pretty good about playing it coy and saying the right things, but he said, yeah, it was really unexpected. Seems, everyone has to admit that this is out of nowhere, weird timing, and not really sure why, because in my opinion, it seemed like Gaine was pleasing everyone and doing a good job.
Well, he had a 5-year contract, and you're talking about, 17, 18 months in this contract. That's so unlike the way the Texans have operated in the past.
This is not the Bob McNair Texans. Now, that can be a good thing because the Texans have still yet to win a Super Bowl, let alone a divisional game or an AFC championship game. But Cal McNair Bob McNair does not make this decision. And from a business standpoint, it's a horrible decision because Cal McNair was in on those meetings with Bill O'Brien and Bob McNair deciding on Brian Gaines. So he's paying Rick Smith, he's paying Brian Gaines, he's paying the new GM, he's paying Bill O'Brien serious money. Bill O'Brien's under contract through 2022, and you can't convince me right now this team is a Super Bowl contender right now. If you get Nick Caserio, if you get the guy that Bill O'Brien wants, Cal McNair wants, and a better GM, okay, your organization is better, but is the play calling going to be better? Is the on-field execution going to be better? The time management? Are they going to build a wall around Deshaun Watson? Can they win 12 games and be a Super Bowl contender? I'm not sure the GM changes that for you at all this season. That's more of a long-term play.
So the Patriots angle, considering those names we popped up earlier, we see them again, Nick Caserio and Monty Ossenfort. They're both part of the Patriots team now, and they were not allowed to be interviewed back in January. Elliott Wolf, Ray Farmer's already been a guy that they've talked to. What's your thought on what this list looks like, what they should be looking for?
It's a professional list. It's a solid list. Here's a question that we don't know as we speak right now. Are the Patriots going to allow their guys to interview the Texans? That didn't happen before.
They've already shut it down once.
And if you're the Texans and you plan, because this has been building for a while, right? This didn't just happen on Friday. This has been building for a while.
I think they know something we don't know before they made that decision if they have a candidate.
Do you not have your person in place and locked in? And if you're so smart and you're ahead of the curve, you say, Brian Gaines is not good enough. We are hiring this person because this is exactly what we want. They did not do that clearly.
Is the GM situation really affecting the players at all?
Players are not affected at all. Although if you're picking up waiver acquisitions and you're trying to improve your roster, that can affect it. They can make it through this period. This is a quiet period for the NFL.
So it doesn't affect the players as a whole. What about one player? He wears number 90 and he's been franchise tagged. How do you think it plays in that?
That's a great question, and I wrote about this in Sunday's Chronicle. If you're Jadeveon Clowney and you're Bus Cook, his agent, you're the Texans, who takes the lead role in this? Is it Cal McNair? Is it Chris Olsen, the salary cap, interim GM? Is it Bill O'Brien? Is Bill O'Brien the coach and the play caller and the head of football ops and also dealing with, hey, we want to trade Clowney, we want to extend Clowney, we want to tag him? Those are major decisions you have to make. That's why you have a GM.
Good stuff. As always, we have a lot to talk about this summer. I have a feeling leading up to training camp. He's Brian T. Smith, columnist for the Houston Chronicle. Good stuff as always. You're welcome anytime, man. Appreciate it.
Here comes the relay throw. Yuli is safe at home plate. The ball is dropped. The Astros win it.
Walk-off win to open this homestand at Minute Maid. Today, the excitement turned to the newest Astro making his Major League debut. Big Sunday crowd out there. All eyes on the prize prospect, guys, Yordan Alvarez, and he would not disappoint. Wex?
Neither would the guy on the mound. Wade Miley was great. Also got some defensive help from Alex Bregman, turning 2 there. Wade Miley, again, very good. 6 shutout innings, 5 Ks, but everyone came to see Alvarez in his debut and his second at bat.
That ball's smoked to center field. It's got a chance. It's gone.
Alvarez, the latest in a series of recent big league debuts. The prize prospect has been tearing it up at Round Rock and should be here to stay. The Astros shut out the Orioles 4-0.
Just that one big hit for Alvarez. 24 home runs overall on the season. Was the DH today. Likely the DH again against the Brewers Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah, Miley more than just consistent. I mean, this guy has been very good. 6 shutout innings today. That ERA dipped to 3.14. Another series win, and of course, the big story was Mr. Alvarez.
He looks hitterish. Obviously, the power's there. He's quiet in the box, and I'm excited to see what he does.
I saw him take a four-seam heater up and in, and then look for a changeup and get it and homer. So, really impressive.
I don't know how many people were in the stadium today, but they all can take credit for probably saying, hey, he's going to homer, and then he delivers.
Made it look so easy.
Yeah, what a debut for this kid. I mean, everybody's been waiting patiently for his arrival. He's been waiting patiently. He's putting up just monster numbers there in Round Rock AAA, waiting for the call. He's got it. But just watching him play, as you see his home run again, I was impressed with just how relaxed he was at the plate. He stepped up there. He looked like a guy that belonged in the big league.
I think people are going to want to get to know Alvarez. We take a look at the Alvarez file here. He is a young kid, something that was pointed out by A.J. Hinch, again, just 21 years old. He was acquired in that trade, remember, straight up for Josh Fields in 2016. Good job, Jeff Luhnow. And again, the last 2 seasons as a top prospect, he's been in the futures game each of those 2 years. And yes, today debuts with a homer.
And the timing of this couldn't be any better, of course, with Altuve, Springer, and Correa all out right now. Now, Springer was running, it looked like to me, full speed this morning at the field, so that's a good sign.
Yeah, they're getting close, but there's no doubt when you look at Alvarez, this guy's going to find a spot in the lineup. Not exactly known for his defense, so the DH role might be perfect for him right now.
It is perfect for him. They just need to work that into days off for each of the other guys.
All right, Astros off tomorrow and again back at it Tuesday against Milwaukee. But hey, more baseball news, some breaking news, some sad news coming out of the Dominican Republic tonight. Former Red Sox star, 43-year-old David Ortiz, was shot in Santo Domingo in an attempted burglary. Transported to a hospital there. Condition right now unknown. The suspect, though, was arrested.
Yeah, 10-time All-Star, 3-time world champion, very well liked around the league, both with current players and players that obviously were with him. A lot of well wishes out there in the social media universe. Should also get to the other story we've been following throughout the week with the Houston Rockets.
That's right. Good news for the Rockets and head coach Mike D'Antoni. As we were reporting, the talks reopened between the both sides after they had closed temporarily there. Good news, the buyout clauses are out of the deal as they continue talks. Now it's just about guys agreeing to a salary on this extension. No deal yet, but sources continue to tell me they are close. I mean, they're making progress. His agent says they're not close. So on the agent side, he wants to keep working on this, but some others close to the situation say they're making some progress.
I'm just liking seeing that they're on the same page now, and that it seems like they both mutually want to move forward. It's just a matter of, salary and negotiations moving forward.
When we heard from Tillman and Daryl Morey together saying that we are all on the same page, that included Mike D'Antoni, who obviously wasn't there with them, but he's been saying this all along. And as we've all said, it really made no sense for them not to reach a deal this year and go into next year thinking he's back, he's not back, and they're going to get there.
Meanwhile, he's hanging out in West Virginia golfing every day, just waiting on this deal.
He's re-energized.
They're enjoying watching the finals and seeing who's getting beat right now.
I'm sure they are.
All right, so coming up, I go one-on-one with Cy Ranch pitcher J.J. Goss. What he told me after being drafted in the first round, the emotion, the excitement, and what's ahead for the young star.
All right, good stuff there. Plus, 5 months into his new job at U of H, head coach Dana Holgorsen sits down with me and opens up about his big plan for the Cougars moving forward. We're back with that in 2 minutes.
Sports Sunday on KPRC, brought to you by Nissan. This is Sports Sunday, presented by Nissan.
All right, welcome back to Sports Sunday. Cougars quarterback D'Eriq King piled up 50 touchdowns last season and nearly 4,000 yards of offense. What a year he had. He's coming off his knee surgery, but he's been named by Athlon as the AAC's preseason Offensive Player of the Year. It's going to be a big year for D'Eriq King. Well, we are now officially under 100 days until the new college football season kicks off, and at U of H, Cougar Nation cannot wait for the debut of Dana Holgorsen. He's been running nonstop since he was introduced in early January. This past week, I sat down one-on-one with the Cougars' new head coach. At the start of 2019, a fresh era of Houston Cougars football began. The arrival of Dana Holgorsen brought with it high expectations for a program on the rise. 5 months have passed, and the foundation is now being laid by the Cougs' new head coach, who's happy to call Houston home again.
The reason why they were able to recruit me here is the same reason why I'm able to recruit a lot of players here and a lot of coaches here because of this great city. Hired 32 coaches in 3 months. And have brought in upwards of about 16 recruits, that want to join us too. So when you got a great city that's attractive to a lot of people, it makes this job and it makes this university special, and that goes hand in hand.
You're in the Big 12. You're at West Virginia. Why U of H? What attracted you to this job?
Well, it was I loved West Virginia. I had a wonderful time there. I was very proud of what we accomplished for our 8 years there. I loved my time there. Met many people that will be lifelong friends. Many of the guys that you see on the wall right here were all my draft picks at West Virginia. I think it was about 28 guys and over the course of 8 years. So very proud of that. With that said, it had everything to do with the University of Houston. When I was here in 2008 and 2009, Renew Couture, our president, was just getting started. And, I followed it because Houston's always been very special to me, which means the University of Houston's always been very special to me. And I saw where the university is now compared to where it was 10 years ago, and with the leadership that we have, with President Couture, with Tillman Fertitta as the chairman of the board, knows a thing or two about running a franchise and building a program. Chris Pesman sold me on the fact that he's a Houstonian, he's a Houston Cougar, and he's going to stay put. Biggest thing is continuity. If we can develop continuity within our football program, the sky's the limit of where we can go.
To the guys that are in your program now since day one when you got here, what's been your message and your staff's message?
Yeah, it's been tough because these guys have been through a lot. You know, I talked about that revolving door. You know, our O-line's had 5 O-line coaches in 5 years. You know, they've had 3 head coaches in 5 years. You know, so there's been a lot of transition, a lot of turnover. And I said, look, guys, I ain't here. This isn't a stepping stone for me. Okay, so I'm going to be here for a long time. When you graduate and finish up from the University of Houston, you come back 10 years from now, I'm going to be the guy that's going to still be here. Okay, so that's my message and that's my mission. I said, look, you know, I'm not going to use the excuse that you're not my guys for us to win. You are my guys. Now, we're going to build it the right way, but we need you guys to win. It was the same message I had at West Virginia when I took that over. You know, they'd had some turnover and some transition. I said, I'm never going to use that excuse. You know, when we won the Big East that year, we beat Clemson in the Orange Bowl 70-30, you know, and I did that with those guys buying in and trusting me right away. So it's still a work in progress. It's still new. You know, we still got a long ways to go. June and July are very important. Obviously, August camp, and then you line up. Before we know it, we're going to be on a plane going to Norman.
Do you lay out a blueprint for yourself on where you are now, where you want to be a year from now, 2 years from now? How do you lay that out for yourself here at U of H?
Yeah, it's, you know, we're building this for the future. With that said, we play a game in 3 months, you know, and so nobody's going to care about the future when we're on that plane going to Norman, okay, or the next week when we play Prairie View here. Or the next week when we play Washington State here. So you got to focus on the season. At this point, we're at a point to where, you know, I've kind of done everything that I can do. You know, recruiting never stops, but building for the future is going to revolve around winning football games right now. So we got to focus on what's at hand right now. But all the decisions that we make, from personnel to recruiting, are all pretty much about what the future brings. And I don't think anybody knows what the future brings. I think we're kidding ourselves if we know where college football is going to be here in about 5 years, you know. So I don't concern myself with Group of 5, Power 5, or any of that. That's all going to take care of itself. You know, the American Conference is what, in my mind, a Power 6. You know, because of the teams that are in that. UCF's making a splash. Memphis, Cincinnati. I mean, SMU. These are good football teams. It's a good conference. It's challenging. I can assure you, there's not a whole lot of difference in what we're doing now compared to what I've done in the last 7 years. It's the same job. So I don't think anybody's going to, you know, really truly understand what the future brings. I just know when that conversation happens that the University of Houston is going to be in that conversation.
All right, great time with Dana. I appreciate him giving up the time. He's fired up for the new season and success at U of H, and he did not drink one Red Bull during the course of that interview. It blew me away. I couldn't believe that.
Shocking. Okay, let's look at some of the key games for U of H this season. Cougs open September 1st at Oklahoma, followed by the home opener against Prairie View.
Big Week 3 game, the Friday nighter over at NRG Stadium. And like Coach Holgerson mentioned, big conference games coming up in November. Central Florida on the road November 2nd, and then Memphis on November 16th.
All right, still ahead on Sports Sunday, 2 Cy Ranch stars are set to begin their professional baseball careers. J.J. Goss and Matt Thompson drafted. Hear from them coming up.
Several teams punched their ticket to the College World Series, and Texas Tech was among them, and they did it in dramatic fashion. How about this go-ahead homer in the bottom of the 8th inning? They go crazy in Lubbock, and the Red Raiders are headed to Omaha. They win it 8-6.
Tampa Bay Rays select J.J. Goss, a left pitcher from Cypress Ranch High School.
I'm just so happy. I mean, for the support group that he has. I mean, I don't know. I'm happy.
Such a special and obviously emotional moment for J.J. Goss and his family. I was there for all the excitement and got to catch up with him afterwards. J.J., you've had a couple seconds to kind of decompress here. What are your thoughts right now?
I'm just really happy and just can't thank enough for the opportunity I got to continue my career.
When did you know that this is what you wanted to do? You wanted to continue your baseball career at the professional level?
As a little boy growing up, I always dreamed of being a professional baseball player, but became a reality definitely this year. Playing the season, definitely got a lot of buzz from the Major League scouts, and everything played out. Just thankful.
In this moment, do you think about all the hard work you put in, all the baseball games over the years?
Not really. No, man. Just baseball is almost natural to me, and that's what I breathe. Baseball. I'm happy.
Tell me about your relationship with your mom. She was obviously emotional. She's so proud of you. What's it like to share this experience with her?
She's definitely my rock. She's always been there for me, and can't thank her enough. I love her.
What does it mean to see her that proud of you?
Makes me happy and makes me feel good as a son.
Tell me about the Cy Ranch baseball team, kind of what that program has done for your baseball career. I know I was just out there a few weeks ago interviewing you guys. You made a deep run in the playoffs, and I know that's contributed a lot to where you are now.
Yes, man, definitely. Cy Ranch is a program that I spent 4 years at, and definitely made me better, made me a better person, like on and off the field, and a whole bunch of good guys around there, and just the community, the support system through Cy Fair is insane, and brothers that I've played with and went to war with every day, they'll always be there.
I know you were excited about your commitment to Texas A&M, but obviously this is a new page is turned. What can the Tampa Bay organization expect out of J.J. Goss?
That I'm going to come and bring everything I have every time I get the chance to step on the mound there in Tampa Bay, and just hope everything goes well.
Okay, well, congratulations, and I think Houston has got a whole bunch of Tampa Bay fans now, so we'll be cheering for you.
Thank you.
Also getting a big call was JJ's teammate, Cy Ranch pitcher Matt Thompson, who went 45th overall in the second round to the White Sox.
It's crazy to even think that you'd be getting a call from a team like that and that they want you to play with them. It's just a blessing for me to even think that that was my favorite team and they actually picked me.
And he always said he wanted, Mom, I want to go to the majors. I said, oh boy, be quiet. You don't know what you're talking about, but here we are.
We taught him from day one that God is always first, no matter what, how high you go or how low you go.
Sports Sunday on KPRC, brought to you by Nissan.
Looking ahead to this week, Texans mandatory minicamp kicks off.
Yeah, that'll be Tuesday, same day we pick back up with the Yordan Alvarez reality tour at Minute Maid Park.
Can't wait to see that. It's been a great show. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you all week and next Sunday.
Hi, Simone.